just such an incredibly strong pick, ton of self-peel. It makes it kind of difficult for Loud to go for a lot of these dive compositions that they tend to try and go towards.
Let's see. The Rumble ban is interesting as well in that a lot of the Loud fans talking about how Robo can't play Rumble, apparently. I don't know whether that's true or if it's just a meme, but certainly something that Gam was batting against Loud, but perhaps didn't need to. It is going to be that Xayah I've talked about as the first pick, but it does mean things like the Jarvan wide open, which can be very high priority. Things like your Orianna as well towards the mid lane that can be absolute power picks, and then, of course, the Renekton.
Yeah, I mean, the Croc, but not for Croc. I mean, it's incredibly strong on that top side, and the Rakan as well, trying to separate that Lovers duo. This is a very, very strong already early game skirmish composition that you're setting up for. You can play around the Rakan and that Renekton, specifically around that early Rift Tower, try and play towards that. But also, like, you can set up really well then if you want to try and go for an Orianna pick for tinowns here on this next rotation, where you've got kind of 2 ball delivery systems already, which can be very, very good. But it is already kind of a composition where you want to try and get ahead in the early stages, because Renekton wants to be coming in off a flank, Rakan kind of as well. So vision control is going to be a very big thing I'll be watching out for Loud coming into this game.
Yeah, to be honest, and the topic of ball delivery as well, I wouldn't actually hate it on PSG on this lock-in. You've got the Rell and the Xayah. They certainly lean towards that team fighting, but looks like a jungle pick might be the call instead for PSG. And again, the Jarvan certainly fits into that sort of circle comp that we were talking about before.
Well, I'm actually kind of curious then what the answer is here for Root, because, I mean, if you think about it, we were saying, hey, Orianna going to be really good, but if you're going to take the Jarvan, you can't really go for that for tinowns, because you've got Jarvan who's going to be jumping onto you, locking you down, making it very difficult to operate with the Rell to follow up. And even for Root, a lot of those like self-peel AD carries, the only one that's available right now is Ezreal, right? So, or, well, I suppose you could go for the Sivir, but again, like, yes, you can spell shield the damage, but you're still going to get locked in this little corner. So I'd actually probably prefer an Ezreal pick up here. I know it doesn't work particularly well into a lot of tanks, but Jarvan at the moment, as you said, is kind of going Gore Drinker, Spear of Shojin, so not exactly the tankiest of guys. Yeah.
I will say, the one big benefit of the Sivir is if they're all going to group up in circles, Sivir's going to, if you're not in that circle at the start, you're going to shred through them. So it's all going to be down to positioning. And I have to say, Root's been looking good on the positioning side of things. Like, he looked fantastic in his first series. Hoping to see a similar performance today. The Kennen. This is something we've seen against the Renekton already. I believe that was actually playing it, in fact. Absolute decimation in the top side. So I think very reasonable ban there.
Yeah, I'm curious exactly what Azhi wants to go for. I mean, you still have things like the Jackson that are up and available. This is most played coming in from summer, so maybe they want to fall back towards that, or maybe Loud will actually ban it away. There it is, yeah. And then for Croc, he's already getting himself pinched as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a Sejuani ban coming through here as well from PSG, just to try and get rid of more of a front line, because I think that's the last big thing that you're missing here, is that like definitive engage tool. Sejuani kind of offers that. You've then got the Rakan and the Renekton to follow up, but you typically don't want to see like Rakan being your main engage tool, because he is just so squishy, especially against things like a Rell that can try and lock him down when he comes in.
We'll have to see where they're going to go here. Loud, again, we're wanting to see priority. We're wanting to see ways for them to find an advantage, to find a way to push PSG. Sejuani is certainly a champion that can find you that early presence.
Yeah, and I think that's the big one. It'll be able to kind of match a lot of the early clear coming through from the Jarvan, and it kind of gives you that long-range ult that you want to start fights off. So I like it. I think it gives you a strong front line, and that's typically what Sivir's going to need. And especially as well, it's interruption for the flag and drag that Jarvan's going to be going for, right? If he tries to go in, you hit him with the Q, make sure that you're able to keep him in place, and just try and peel for this backline. But we're going to have the Neeko coming in on the opposite side. So PSG Talon going back towards a composition that they worked in game number 1 now. This was where we kind of saw the problems rise, where they weren't as coordinated as they would have liked to be. The communication was off. So coming into this, I want to see PSG Talon be significantly stronger when it comes towards, hey, we are setting up for objectives, we are coming in at the same time. But you also have to be careful on the outside, because one of the big things we saw was how good Maple was at finding picks on this Neeko.
Yeah.
You need to keep counting your minions, keep your sides warded, so Maple can't find those options.
Yeah, quite a few big pot blossoms as well, and it's like, they won. They looked like decent winning, even without having perfect coordination. Imagine if they did get that together. It's a terrifying thing to go up against. The Gnar as well, another circle to play with. On the other side now, Loud, they've got to grab a mid laner. Orianna's still up. Azhi still up. These control mages could be the answer. But like you said before, with the Jarvan, with the Rell on the enemy team, if you get out of position, it can be dangerous. In fact, it's going to be that Taliyah.
And I don't mind the Taliyah here. I mean, Taliyah is still incredibly strong. And again, it's just kind of like a, hey, I want to try and control your engage. You can have the Azir that's a bit more reactive, whereas you can be a bit more proactive with the Taliyah, where, hey, I'm going to put down the Unraveled Earth, make sure that Jarvan can't use the flag and drag, Rell can't jump over it. And the only one you kind of got to be careful of is our Maple even coming in on this Neeko to just find those opportunities. So I definitely like the Taliyah here, just adding a bit more protection for the backline. Plus the scaling, when you've got Taliyah and also having this Sivir as well, like Loud, if they can get to the late game, are going to do so much damage to PSG.
They really are. That's one thing that Sivir offers more than almost any other AD carry, really, is the late game. Like one ricochet in the late game, you shredded the whole team. It's kind of terrifying to play up against. I'm liking the look of what Loud are bringing to the table, but PSG, you know, you get the right execution. If they group up in a fight and you do get those ults off, doesn't really matter what time we're at in the game. Those ults combined is going to be terrifying.
Yeah, and I think that's the big one coming into this. I feel like for PSG Talon, using those ults, they can play for early skirmishes, really try and play off of the presence that you have in the mid lane, because while Taliyah is decent in trying to dictate fights and keeping people from using a lot of those dashes, in lane she's still pretty vulnerable. Especially if you're going up with like Neeko, being able to get a long-range Tango Barb, follow it up with the Jarvan, it just becomes difficult to operate. So I feel like that strong mid-jungle that we've seen from PSG Talon is going to be something Loud have to contend with in this game, so they don't just run away with it.
To see if they can contend with it. We're headed towards game number 1 here between PSG and Loud. It's a rematch from MSI. Loud looking for revenge for the 2-0 they received just a few months ago. They're coming in prepped. They look great in their first series. Can they face their demons?
I mean, this is such a big one for the Loud crowd. They want to really get a win here, as you say, to put themselves...
The Loud crowd. I like that. I like that a lot.
Into a spot where they're ahead. I mean, getting yourself into a position where you are that first seed, going to be going up against the second seed coming over from the opposite group. So this is a very big pickup for Loud if they can do it. But as you say, face their demons. Last time was a 2-0 between PSG and Loud, and they'll be wanting to right some wrongs here today.
I've got to say as well, it's nice that A, we get to cast together, but B, we get to cast JunJia and Maple back together. Like, back when you were at LPL, these guys were at LPL as well. You know, it feels kind of reminiscent. But I'm also looking towards JunJia and Maple as that sort of mid-jungle 2v2 against tinowns, against Croc. Like, there's a lot of roamability on this Taliyah. There's a lot of pressure that Sejuani can put on. So that 2v2 is going to be important.
Yeah, I think as well, just the amount of damage and one-shot potential you have from Maple and JunJia as you start to get towards like even half an item, you know, level 5, level 6, if you get caught at all as tinowns, you're in a terrible position. So I think a lot of this is going to be a case of, hey, let's try and get some early vision down the river, make sure that tinowns has a safe side of the map to play towards, and make sure you're going to be okay. Because yes, Croc and tinowns will have a lot of CC, but from like a burst ability standpoint, they're just not quite able to match up to Maple and JunJia.
Yeah, not until you got a few items on that Taliyah.
Exactly, yeah.
She's not exactly the mage you know for crazy damage. But don't forget to log in and watch on lolesports.com to earn exclusive Worlds 2023 drops like emotes and icons. Plenty of free stuff being given out, so make sure you're checking out the website. But I'm checking out this bottom lane right now, especially as the level 2 spike comes in. Woody will get out with his life, but Root and Seos have been fantastic. Their first series, I mean, Root got a pentakill. Like, but just the laning phase.
2 solo kills, like that dude was having a day.
He was popping off. He was popping off. But the laning phase especially, phenomenal in the 2v2. And that's something that really could be criticized for Wako and Woody.
100%. I think Wako... It was mostly Wako for me, to be perfectly honest. Like, not respecting the level 2s being hit, pushing up too far, giving away silly opportunities for the enemy to kind of find advantages or even push him out of lane early so we get to go for early resets. So coming into this, if Root and Seos can have that same performance, as you can already see, like getting control over the level 2, even getting some hurt down on Woody, like that's going to be an issue for PSG. So I want to see if Wako's found his footing.
Hang on, we're already diving. Azhi in big trouble trying to move over to his jungler, but he can't go anywhere. He's already gone. JunJia wants to answer and he gets Croc. And there's another Croc on the menu right here. JunJia and Robo in a 1v1. I'm not actually sure who wins this at this point in the game. And they both decide that they're not sure either.
I mean, nice job from JunJia, being able to match the pathing. You can see Croc completely disregarded his topside jungle to try and make that play happen, but JunJia, just having that faster clear, is already up in this topside, able to turn that one around. And as he TPing back into lane, means that he gets the majority of those minions as well.
So, action-packed start already. That's what we like to see. And honestly, that's what we wanted to see from Loud. We were talking about early aggression for this squad. And I love that straight off the bat, Croc is invading. They're going for a dive and putting Azhi behind in the top lane.
And it's something that we saw Loud do in their last series as well, was try and get those early plays up towards Robo, get him in control of that matchup, and from there he can try and keep that pressure up. But as you can see, JunJia already knows, hey look, Robo doesn't have his flash, just going to spot out the Croc is already in position, might even try and steal these away. That's nice. Doesn't even need it, just ends up queuing, steals a bunch of those camps away, and now it's going to start causing issues for Croc, where JunJia knows he has the level advantage, has to push in mid, and actually he's going to have push, I think, on this bot side as well, if Wako wants to try and keep this invade up on the bottom side as well.
Oh, Seth's going to be in trouble here, the feathers. Not going to be enough quite there. He will get out with his life, but good bit of damage in that bottom lane. JunJia gets the crab as well. And I will say, the CS lead in that jungle is sizable at this point because of that early invade from Croc.
Yeah, and I think that's going to kind of continue here. You can see Croc has to back away. Level advantage for JunJia, although
or does
Croc
he?
Does go in, but
he doesn't believe in backing away. He's living up to the Renekton in his name, and he's going in. Root has to back away in the meantime as all in onto Sejuani. Once again, the root is good from the feathers. And Xayah will get underneath his tower in the meantime. Croc might just go down here. He's not got flash available. JunJia does, though. And he looks for Xayah as well. Where's the red buff ticking away? The field. He flashes away from the Q. The banner's not enough. My God, that couldn't have been closer. If the wave was in, it would have been perfect.
I mean, if Xayah didn't have fast reactions, that would have been perfect as well. Potentially double kill going across the JunJia, but Root still in trouble. Wako's low, but Woody could dive this, and that's why you're seeing Xayah with the tiniest of HP is there more for moral support than anything else.
Yeah, just trying to make sure that the dive can't be an option for them. Absolute carnage to start this game off, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. I will say, though, the fact that it's 2-2, not ideal for Loud. We were expecting them to be the ones pushing the envelope, but JunJia really making the most of that play.
Yeah, I mean, JunJia just, again, abusing the fact he had that level advantage. Like, off this play, remember, Croc completely dips on his topside jungle, so he doesn't have any of that. Azhi doesn't end up burning flash or anything, but JunJia's here to pick up the kill. So now Croc has to reset, needs to go back in towards his topside, whereas JunJia gets to pick up the double crab. So you can see here, level advantage for JunJia, and that's why I was surprised to see Croc go in. Like, JunJia hard wins this, especially with the passive on the Jarvan at this stage. So flashes for gets the kill. I'm shocked Xayah didn't go down here. The heal just barely enough, flashes the Q, and then the flag just not quite enough. Root as well, picking up a kill, will give him the advantage, but we're back on top.
Yeah, Xayah, has moved up as well to try and make this happen, but Woody's here. This is an absolute brawl of a game. Knock up onto Robo, who's got that dominance. He's tanky, but not tanky enough as Azhi turns into Mega Gnar, slams him against the wall. Robo's been kicked out of the fight. Maple is behind enemy lines right now. He's not level 4 after all. That's a Pop Blossom and a half. And that's 2 for PSG.
Loud were too slow in the collapse. tinowns had first move, but they didn't commit now. Robo just about able to get out, but they left it too long. Maple able to come across. Great positioning to catch out both Croc and Xayah, who had no flash after the initial plays.
I've got to be honest on this one. So far, if we've got 2 Crocs on the side of Loud, then we've got Crocodile Dundee on the side of PSG right now. They're going full Steve Irwin in this one with 3 kills already onto the Loud jungler. Dragon is up on the board. JunJia getting that Scuttle Crab, getting vision as Woody. Might be getting cheeky with it. He doesn't have vision of this right now, but he's just going to be spotting it out. Yeah, okay. Can blast going out to safety.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like they're playing Knife be Spoony. Unfortunately, PSG has the knife, but Bruise wants to see what he can do. Takes a scoop out of Wako, but that's about it. But the problem is that, again, PSG Talon, they have the advantages. 3 kills onto JunJia. He's now in behind.
Look at this. Cataclysm forces the flash, forces the W at Xayah as well. But with those cooldowns, with priority on the bottom side, they could even potentially look towards the Dragon because Croc is up on the top side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, but I love this look from PSG, right? When we've been thinking about PSG Talon, it's been, hey, it's a little bit slow, we'll get this come online a little bit later, but like, they're matching all these early plays from Loud, and traditionally, this isn't how aggressive we see Loud play, but they're trying to make things work. It's just fumbling that little bit because Croc's behind. Xayah is behind a flash, not able to get himself into a position where he's happy. And as a result, PSG have actually turned around so much of this early aggression from Loud.
Yeah, and in the context of this matchup as well, it probably feels real good for PSG to have an early lead when it's like, there's always that mental game conversation, thinking back to MSI, hang on, we could have a steal in our hands. JunJia is just going to walk forwards and take the Herald away. It's daylight robbery with a triple Gnar on top. JunJia gets the Herald, and Azhi wants some kills as well. Pop Blossom and Croc flashes out safety. Robo, you might have stayed a little bit too long on this one. The slow comes out from Azhi. They can chase this one down. Robo has flash available. And he will walk away with his life. So no kills, but a herald for PSG. Oh, he's spotted.
No. Croc, just hop out. Just leave. But I do have that, like, at what point does Croc become the grandson of JunJia? Because at this stage, 3 kills going across, Rift Herald stolen his face. It has not been a good look for Croc when JunJia's in the area.
Yeah, this is it's a tough one, isn't it? When JunJia's just sort of strolling in, just destroying him, honestly. And Croc, I wonder what his username will be if this series continues how it started. I've got to know what that solo queue idea will become. Robo trying to push this in. I keep calling him Robo because I'm casting with you.
It's okay. Ushi did the exact same the other day. I was like
You're hanging out with a Rob all day, it becomes hard to say Robo. Oh dear. So far, so good for PSG. Let's take another look at this beautiful steal from JunJia.
Yeah, I mean, really nicely done. And again, I think just watching, yeah, like they're trying to burst it with the combo with the Sejuani passive, but they just barely mess it up. Great smite, and then the ult coming through as well. So really nicely done. Croc and Robo, though, up on this top side, just trying to move in now to get some vision, spot out exactly where Jarvan is. But at this stage, you haven't had to trade the Dragon for the Rift Herald because you saw it in front of their face. You've still got good control over this mid lane as well because Maple has that extra kill. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a play happen in this mid lane and then try and lean that into the bot side.
Oh, yep. JunJia just flying straight in. tinowns, no flash available, nowhere to go. It's as easy as you like for JunJia.
I mean, the second the flash is down, tinowns is so vulnerable. Like, that's what we're saying. It's one Tango Barb lands. In that case, it's just a case of Cataclysm and the follow for Maple. And now, with the push and bot side, there's the Dragon play that you can probably set up for, although it looks like you're still having Loud trying to contest with Croc, with Sales. But I think he just easily picked this up as PSG Talon.
You'd think so at this point. And we started talking off about JunJia and Maple versus Croc and tinowns, and so far that's going heavily in PSG's favor. But the side lanes actually, in fact, yeah, the jungle matchup is, I mean, 1,500 gold up in jungle. You don't see that very often, honestly. Phenomenal start to the game from JunJia. But the side lanes are going well for Loud. That's the silver lining right now. You can see big old CS lead for Robo in the top side with that kill as well. Root in a similar situation where even in CS, but he has that kill on the board. And that is really going to be the shining light for Loud fans.
Yeah, I think the problem is, though, it's going to become significantly easier to try and move that pressure around the map for PSG Talon. Like, you already saw that quick kill in mid. All right, cool. Now Maple has the a little bit of an advantage for himself. He can push in, start to drift down to bot sides, threaten a lot of the dives. And even at the moment, because JunJia's going to go for this reset, he'll clear from top to bottom. Could even be in a position where he's kind of desynced from Croc, and Croc is in a position to try and stop that. So there's going to be a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes for Loud, but they need to try and figure out, like, get the vision in place to try and find out where JunJia's going to strike next.
Have to see what's on JunJia's mind. He's hovering towards the mid lane once again. I mean, the flash is still on cooldown for tinowns. Cataclysm's back up. If tinowns steps out of position, like, JunJia, you know he's got that timing. You know he knows exactly when the flash is coming back up. I won't be that surprised to see them dive, honestly.
Go. Where is it? Oh,
No,
it's so
waiting for the
scary.
wave.
It's
They're
so
waiting for the
scary.
wave.
This
But
is like a
Croc
horror
knows.
show.
Croc knows, and you can see Xayah on the way as well. Woody's here already. Croc CC'd up a little bit. Surely they can't go for the dive with Croc in the area.
Yeah, especially with the ultimate up for the Sejuani. You go underneath that tower, there's very little chance of you coming back out, so they will just call it off. But again, you can see how much of this game is being dictated by PSG. We'll just pop down the Rift Herald, get themselves 2 plates and back away, but Croc taking a good bit of damage.
Yeah, a bit of a CC chain there. I think ulting just to get his aftershock to make sure that he was safe. I really like that ult, actually, as a defensive maneuver. But look at this. Woody and JunJia just go back into the same spot again. The CC chain, not even Rakan can escape that.
If it doesn't work twice, sure, look, we'll give it a third time, see what happens. Like, the fact that PSG eventually managed to pull off the least covert operation I've ever seen. But now JunJia moving bot lane, they want to make sure that Root cannot touch this wave either.
Yeah, less covert, more just straight up brute force, going full Shrek, just saying, I'm bigger than you, just running at them. And I've got to say, I'm really surprised at the pace of this game and the way that PSG are playing, because we came in saying patient, slow gaming, and that is not what we're seeing from PSG at all.
I mean, a large portion of that was, hey, I want them to take a slow around objectives, and realistically, it's been Loud who've kind of been fumbling that a little bit. We saw it at Rift Herald where they didn't really have control over what they needed to do, also overextending in towards like enemy jungles when they didn't have to, but I mean, this ward doing work. Like, you have to know they're still in the area, and just a big mistake from Sales to work for Maple.
Ooh, tinowns dodges away from the root, and that should keep him alive, and now a TP coming on through. But He's a bit too little too late. Robo, unless he can flash in and get a stun, but even then, don't really have the damage to get through anyone. Strikebreaker finished off for Robo, but he won't find. He won't be able to close the gap. And now PSG having a TP advantage in that top lane.
And give the opportunity for Azhi to just get a bit of farm without having the Renekton in the lane. He'll be able to crash this one, get a nice reset for himself, pick up his Triforce off the back of it. So even though they don't get the play, they still get the advantages that they needed. Wako even on the bot side. I think Xayah was considering making a play towards Wako, but it's a Xayah with flash, cleanse, and ults. Like, trying to respond cross-map to that is a pain.
How often do you see a 2k advantage in the jungle in our MasterCard lane economy snapshot there? Like, this is a game and a half from JunJia. And it's worth mentioning, like, you know, we were kind of talking about JunJia behind the scenes, saying, like, sometimes he goes a bit too far, sometimes the team's not on the same page. We've got to keep an eye on him today. Well, clearly he's had his Weetabix this morning, because he is on fire. I mean, Gordricker now completed, going up here against Robo. He wants to fight, though. He wants to get onto Maple. Sun's the clone, though. Robo's quite happy to take this fight, honestly. JunJia being the one that has to retreat in the end. Not wanting to use the Cataclysm, not wanting to use the Pop Blossom, because they need those if they're going to fight for the Herald. But now they've lost so much health, I'm not sure that they can. They can't, and that is a massive win for Loud. The fact they'll actually manage to rotate people up here to get the pressure. And even when you look at the bot side, yes, Azhi's in a position to start threatening that bot, but not really there to get the wave in fast enough to really make that tinowns. Can even TP down if he wants to. Wako trying to get pressure on mid lane turret, but he's not really in a position to do so. So Loud kind of finding that window of opportunity to sneak one back over PSG. Yeah, fantastic. And fantastic specifically from Robo to call the bluff of JunJia there. JunJia's coming in like sort of pseudo-ganking, not willing to actually commit to the play though. And Robo's like, look, I know you don't want to use your ults. You know you don't want to use your ults. I'm Renekton. I'm just going to 2v1 you. I am They'll be all right. I am surprised though with the way the Loud kind of went for the resets there. Like I assumed they put in oh, hang on. Here we go, into the mid lane once again. Root has the flash available. There we go, has to use it as Woody chases on it. Xayah's with a good little charm. Wako getting feathers down. Woody taken out though. The ignite to finish the job, or in fact, Root getting the kill in the end. Beautiful stuff. And a tower in the meantime on the top side. Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, look, I think tinowns should have TP'd bot to try and cover that bot lane tower. Robo could have swapped up towards the top lane, but it ended up being a case of, like, PSG Talon got their wins, but it's when they tried to overextend off the back of that, that's where it came back. And again, needed to be patient. They try to go on towards Root, see if they can pick him off before Dragon spawns, but they end up giving over those kills. Loud, though, not really in a position now to try and contest because of them having to burn a lot of those health bars to get that play happening. So instead, they're going to plunk that second Rift Herald and get 2 towers on that top side. You showed that wall. Yeah, great moment for the camera to come down to Azhi there. He was looking for the opportunity to potentially get on Robo there because JunJia was in the area. Herald taken for Loud, and it does feel like they're getting back in the game. Feels like a couple of plays in a row now that are starting to feel a bit Loud favoured. Still an advantage for PSG, and I will say, Infernal Soul on the cards this game, worth mentioning, as Azhi in all kinds of trouble. There's the stun, the follow-up to Xayah. It's beautiful, and it's another kill for Robo, who's absolutely dominating in this top side now. Yeah, and this is going to be another turret going across the Loud as well. So the last few passenger plays, I mean, PSG fumble one, and immediately Loud are trying to use that tempo advantage to pick off so many different members. Need someone to go up and cover that top side, though. PSG moving several members down here to cover the play on the same side tower, but they will end up losing that wave on the top end. And it does feel a little bit dangerous for PSG that, like, the big sort of advantage that they've got in this game at this point is the 2 Drakes. But it feels like they're starting to lose control of the game overall, which makes it difficult to get any further Drakes. And this is the thing, like, you were in a position here as PSG Talon where you can just fall back and track, right? You've got the pick, you've got the vision. You got the tower, you got the vision. You've no need to overextend for this. You're only playing into a position where you don't have vision of what's exactly happening. And there's this Sejuani waiting in the bush. And then as well, because Loud have the advantage off of, hey, we've just killed a couple of your guys and you've got a reset, well, now we can start to make plays on the map, use that TP advantage that we picked up. So nice job from Loud to find that. But now it's on PSG to try and fight back here. They have the double TPs. They have the opportunity now to try and make some plays and see if they can take back that tempo from Loud. If they can get control of this one. Croc moving in to challenge a little bit. He's got some items now. He's not quite as afraid of JunJia as he was once. JunJia going a little bit sideways, and so is Croc. Do you know what? let's all just pretend that never happened. Let's all move on with our lives and just pretend we didn't see that.
Yeah, we're only focused on the blue ball. We'll be stolen by PSG because everyone has everything up, but Loud is going to back away instead. Still, though, this is where I need to see the game kind of picked up from PSG Talon. Like, I want to see them, as you can see, like, getting vision, Robo.
Maple could be in trouble here, honestly. The pop possum going to have to be channeled. As Maple walks away with his life, and now TP coming in from Azhi as well. That is Mini Gnar, though, but he can kite this out forever. Look at him go, trying to escape from Robo. Hops over his head as JunJia flies in, but Robo's over the wall. But so's the rest of PSG. It's a 5-man play towards Robo to shut down the Croc.
PSG Talon were so easily able to collapse on that. Like, no push in mid, no real push on bot side. Like, yeah, you get Terra, but they easily collapse. And now it's Loud who are in trouble again.
TP coming in behind enemy lines. It's Maple looking for Root here, trying to wait for the spell shield, but Root, the reactions are perfect. The waiting, the patience is perfect. Xayah will actually run away with his life somehow. In the meantime, Maple's low. The CC chain coming through. The spell shield's on cooldown this time. And JunJia grabs the shutdown for himself. tinowns flies into the play. And Xayah is still running around the jungle. He will finally be found out. And that's 2 kills for the side of PSG and a tower on top.
Nice job for PSG Talon. We said we needed them to find picks to get that advantage again, and immediately they get Robo, and then they start the TP. Nice job from them to actually get the opportunity to pick off Root as well, because now the map is theirs. Like, everything they want to do, get the vision that they need, get the push in top side. This is where PSG Talon can now start to smother Loud, go for this 3rd dragon, and set themselves up. But you'll see here, Croc, you've nobody there. Like, why are you trying to contest this when you already know everyone on PSG Talon is trying to come in through that top side? Root does a great job here against Maple, knows there's no ultimate on Maple, which is why he's playing so far forward. But here, Maple just buys so much time. The stopwatch lets Jarvan get into position, so JunJia, after the Bramble Barb hits, immediately follows up. And then it's easy pickings there with the amount of damage that they have.
The fact that Maple's able to get both of them with the Tangle Barbs there, maximum range, and then the extended route because it hits the first target. Fantastic play from Maple. It's a great TP flank to start, and it's a great bit of mechanics to finish it off as well. PSG, just when it felt like they were starting to lose control of the game, they get a couple of plays in a row, and now, with Drake spawning in 20 seconds, it feels like they're the ones in control once more.
Yeah, they've just got so many opportunities here. They've already got vision established on the bottom side jungle. They can make sure that they're able to keep people out of the bot side. You see them at the moment grouping up in mid, just get mid control and mid priority, so then they can just lean back, make sure there's no real way for Loud to come in again. Remember what we said about Loud? They want multiple angles of attack and they're not getting them.
Woody's flying in, but he's kind of gone wide on his initial engage here. He's low on HP himself and just throwing himself into his own demise.
That wasn't patient or slow, Munch. And immediately they're going, and here's the TP. Robo's in behind them. They don't know.
This could be massive, but Croc's in trouble in the meantime. Robo gets onto the back line, and Wako's gone. Robo shredding health bars. And Azhi, I'm not sure he's long for this world. He's trying to escape. Good little wall up, and he'll hop over the wall. But Robo, he is taking over the rift right now.
Loud is in a post 20 minutes, and they're starting to come alive, Munch. They've managed to get those picks, they get the kills, they're getting their first dragon, and all off the back of just over-aggression from PSG. Woody doesn't connect on towards Root, and the entire play falls apart.
Every time I've said this, like, X team is starting to take control, immediately the other team gets a sequence of plays together to take over. But this all starts with Woody.
And I think a lot of this is the case of, hey, look, Woody tries to go for the engage. He thinks he's going to have the Gnar coming in to put off Root on the backside. tinowns actually keeps him at bay. And that's where the problem starts to come in. So there's not that pincer maneuver that they thought they're going to have. And as soon as Woody comes down, like Loud realizing, great forward, and PSG haven't killed out. They end up gating Wako's ultimate out, so immediately Robo's able to finish him off. Then Maple's in an awful position because he's got nowhere to go. He already burnt his flash previous to this, so easy pickings from Loud. But great maneuver from Loud to set that one.
And I will say, it's exactly the sort of issues that we've seen from PSG in the first series where they're not quite coordinated. You know, Woody's going in, Maple's nowhere to be seen, Azhi's been zoned away, but there's obviously a break in communication somewhere there for Woody to feel confident to go in. And Loud, more than happy to punish. A great TP from Robo behind enemy lines there to set it all up, get straight onto Wako as well. Wako will have his flash up very shortly though, same for Maple. So it does feel like next time around, you'd anticipate PSG should be in a more comfortable position to escape the Croc.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue for them there was just lack of controlling vision behind them. They hadn't done their due diligence in clearing out the wards. So as long as Loud are able to keep this pressure up, though, they should be in a good spot. At this stage, I mean, Root's going to clear out every single wave that comes his way. Same with tinowns. So it becomes a little bit easier to shove mid, play for sides. So Robo cut out a little bit here.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of damage into the Croc. JunJia doesn't even get his shield broken there. And Robo trying to return fire. It's crazy to me that JunJia and Robo are essentially on the same items. What an ulti! Wako forced to use the Featherstorm, but the Pop Blossom on 5! It's massive from Maple. Can they clean up? Robo buying space for his team, but is it enough? JunJia goes down. Wako's done. Robo, you are insane!
What a play from Loud! When it looked like it was turned around, when it looked like PSG have found their moments, Brazil comes alive and says, "Vamos, we've got this!"
Unbelievable. And Root, in the meantime, on Sivir of all champions, just firing away.
And this here, watch, actually you get the interrupt here from Woody on the engage coming through from Rakan from Xayah, and I thought that's it. This is going to be a massive turnaround with that Pop Blossom. But the fact that Azhi can actually get onto the backline here, Root, positioning was phenomenal, getting a ton of damage off, flashing forward there to follow up, and Azhi just couldn't have that impact even though he's about to go Mega Gnar at the end of that fight.
Absolutely bonkers. That Pop Blossom, I was so sure the fight was won for PSG. But managing to get into the backline is Robo. Root spell shielding the knockup, like you say, so he can just keep on getting damage out in the meantime. And now suddenly, Root actually kind of matching the scoreline that we saw from JunJia. He's finally getting back into the game. He's finally getting some items behind him. And you can see that drop in win probability powered by AWS there. Yeah. That is a steep decline at the end of the chart.
I mean, really, really strong team fight. But again, I want to highlight Root. Again, massive performance on day one. 2 solo kills, a pentakill in his first game. Then coming in being a massive performer for Robo, actually. Wants to make sure he might have a performance here. That Croc is still strong.
I mean, Ashes and Mini now, they don't actually have that much damage. Can he escape? The Cataclysm connected at this point. JunJia could be in trouble himself. He's used everything to make that play happen. But the Pop Blossom again from Maple. 3-man takes him out. JunJia still surviving as Croc and him swap places on the wall. Drake not up for another minute or so, but this Red Bull Baron power play from Loud not looking so hot anymore.
This game is so back and forth. Every time like Loud have done it, they've done it. Robo gets caught out of the bot lane, and they try to connect, try to turn that one around, but once the spell shield's down from Root, it's an easy pickup for PSG Talon. And now, as you say, the Red Bull Baron power play, 360 gold. Kill, less than a kill, and it's even going to diminish further as you're going to be kicked off the map by Loud, and the Dragon going to be up soon. But Robo just overextended, doesn't have the vision there, tries to go in and thinks, hey look, I've got the Gore Drinker, I've got the Q, I can try and stay alive, but manage with the follow-up here, locks them down. But watch the spell shield on Root. He ends up using it on this stun there from Woody, which means that when Maple comes in here, there is no follow-up, and it's that 1-2 punch from Azhi and Maple that finishes this off completely.
I love that at the end as well. JunJia and Croc just swapping places over the wall. Let's both agree just to get out of dodge. But now, Drake coming up negative on the Baron power play for Loud for a second there. 10 seconds on Infernal Drake. And this one's going to be huge. Loud desperate to take control.
Root's cleanse is about to come back up. No flash available. So this Sivir going to be significantly more vulnerable. Even the ultimate backup for JunJia. Whereas when you look at like Wako, flash, cleanse, ult available. This is going to be a significantly easier fight for Wako, who's just hit 3 items to try and take the fight. So Loud, they need to try and play it smart. They need to try and find ways to separate Talon so they don't just go for that big play.
Both AD carries on 3 items, but crucially, Root has a stopwatch hidden in there as well. That could be massive, could be monumental in this fight. Croc trying to make his way in to see if he can get onto that backline.
So we've got the stopwatches available for the Neeko and the Taliyah as well, so you have to be careful with who you decide to go for here. The longer Loud can play this though, the more opportunities they have for Root to try and get that that flash back up available, which is why they're playing for mid. But here we go, JunJia separated.
He's okay, he's got a little pocket. He's quite happy in his little corner there. JunJia getting out with his life. That's going to be Weaver's wall on cooldown.
Look at where Azhi is at the moment though. Control over bot side, he's going to start to push in. This gives him an opportunity to try and flank Loud, which is why they're trying to play into these little pockets where they know there's no vision for PSG, but it's giving PSG the opportunity to take control of River, push them back, and then have those opportunities to get angles of attack onto Loud.
Yeah, I like this from Azhi as well. He's left a couple of minions there, so his wave will stack up. Now it starts that slow push. Robo taking a chunk from Azhi as he's joined the team, but he's about to turn mini now. They need to get this Drake before Azhi turns into that mini form.
And that's why Robo went in there, wants to try and get it. Sales and Croc are there, but positioning here for Loud is not great. Azhi ult down.
Beautiful combo with the feathers and the smite to take the Drake. And now a Pop Blossom onto the backside. JunJia dives onto root as well. The stopwatch comes in. Robo in GA. Maple turns golden in the Cataclysm. Slams him into the ground. JunJia looking for more on top. Maple has gone down, but Azhi chasing on through, looking for tinowns. The carries are gone. Xayah on the wrong side of the rift. And it's all PSG all day long today.
PSG Talon are able to take control of River, they take control of the Dragon, and they might have just taken full control of this game for once. They have the push in mid, they can crack open the base here and just be able to reset in time for Baron and Mist time as well, set up all this gorgeous vision on this top side. This becomes really difficult now for Loud to play.
What a game this has been. So back and forth right from the word go. A minute until Baron spawns onto the map. There's no way PSG can end the game right here, so they'll just take that mid inhib and retreat once more. But soul point now for PSG, and they can start to build control around that Baron area.
Yeah, just unfortunate for PSG. I didn't realize they actually had no vision left, but as you start to come in, like Azhi keeping Robo at bay here, Croc goes in onto Wako, but look at Root, right? This is, everything has been blown by Loud before Root can get in position. Has to use the spell shield on towards Maple, but just sets up for JunJia. Actually, I think the flag might have cancelled the spell shield there on towards Root as well, so Root completely caught out of position, and then at that stage it's on to tinowns to try and follow up, but really well played by JunJia again, flashing over the knockup coming through from Sales, and at that stage they're just able to chase them down so easily.
Maple has been so valuable in these fights, and you know, he's part of our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. It's him versus tinowns, and in these team fights it's been all Maple. These Pop Blossoms have been fantastic, and you know, Root even had a stopwatch in that situation, but when Maple is doing Maple things and when JunJia's diving in alongside him, there's only so much you can do.
I mean, Maple's such a legend in the PCS. This guy's been around for such a long period of time, and the fact now that he's stepping up still at this stage, especially on this Neeko, like, he has put in a hero performance not only today but on the first day of games as well for PSG Talon. So, well, just going somewhere with that. Not entirely sure how it was off the, but coming back to it, I think Maple, he is the guy to watch when you're looking at PSG Talon. He has been on this stage multiple times. The nerves aren't there, and you can see he's thriving in this environment.
Absolute veteran. And you know, a veteran of multiple regions, had multiple years in the LPL as well. Certainly has had his time at the top, and he's made it back to the World Championship once again. He's looking good, especially on this Neeko. This feels like the pocket pick for him this year. As PSG, there is vision in the pit right now. JunJia's going to clear that, but Woody just playing his own.
They just want to try and get the TP from Robo, and even they'll get the one out of tinowns as well. So unless they commit to,
I mean, with the Xayah, you can kind of do an insane burst. There we go. The Baron's just gone. Croc's now stuck in the pit. Half HP already. There's LLL, they want to move in. Can they find a fight though? Azhi's on the flank right now, backing away. In the meantime, combo onto Sales. He's low on HP, he's dashing out to safety and will get out. As JunJia chasing onto Robo as well. It's a long old fight, but PSG, they will not let them go. Azhi turns mega and slams them into the floor. Sales trying to escape alongside Croc, but JunJia got him flying into the play. The blast cone to safety.
They've got the wave though. This could be it. PSG Talon, you've got burned up creeps, you've got super creeps that are right there. Loud, 3 members. Can they hold against PSG Talon?
They're trying to end the game right here. PSG on the cusp as Maple goes for another Pop Blossom. Xayah with a stopwatch, but it can only save you for so long. It only buys you so much time. PSG looking fantastic in this first game. Loud pushed 1-0 down once again. But they had moments of glory. There's time for them to come back in the series.
What a banger of a game one. That was so back and forth all over the place. You've got PSG who are picking up some early leads, then Robo has a moment where he's able to find a pick, get back into it, and then Robo, well, give it and take it, because he ends up giving over some of those overextensions that claw PSG Talon back into a position to fight. That game was insane.
Yeah, that was just mental, honestly. PSG